Hey foodie friends, and welcome to Chef's Recipe Spotlight with Jessica Ann. We do what we do best, and that's talk about all things food. And today we have a flavorful feature, and it is a dessert recipe, one of our most popular, nearly 500 votes, and it is a vanilla custard recipe. So what makes something a custard? Well, I think in the US we usually think of puddings, but like the powdered pudding that nothing against that, love it. But a custard is something that has egg yolks in it, cooked egg yolks in it, which gives it this very velvety and rich, luxurious flavor, texture, and taste. You just really can't beat it. And ours is so good. It's not even funny how good it is. So vanilla custard can be just put in a bowl and eaten with a spoon, add some fresh berries to it and call it a day. You could dip cookies into it. I've seen Nilla wafers. It can be used for banana pudding. You can use it inside donuts to make a filling. You can use it in trifles. Anything that calls for a custard or a pudding can be used with this vanilla custard recipe. So it's really all purpose. And after you've mastered it, because there is a tad tedious, this one definitely has more technical cooking, I'm not going to say baking, but cooking skills around it than some of our other easier recipes. But after you've done it once or twice, you're going to have the hang of it and it's going to come naturally and it'll be that star recipe that everybody's like, holy crap, you made this. Can you make it again? Show me how and give me the recipe. It's really that good. So let's get started. The first thing I want you to know is that it's simple ingredients, but of those simple ingredients, I want you to get a really good quality of ingredients. So do not skimp on the milk. We need 2 cups of whole milk. The vanilla is where you have a little bit of leeway. But I'm gonna really encourage you to get vanilla bean paste. This is an amped up, accelerated version of vanilla extract. It has the vanilla bean caviar in it, which are those lovely little specks of vanilla bean pods that shows everybody you used real vanilla bean. This is no imitation vanilla extract in it. You can use extract and, if you're just going to put it in donuts, who cares? But if you're going to put this into a really high-end dessert, it deserves the vanilla bean paste. Sugar, got fine sea salt, cornstarch for thickening, which is also what's going to make it velvety. If you do use arrowroot or something else, it doesn't have the same velvety and shiny glossy effect. Egg yolks, good egg yolks. Let's use some high quality egg yolks here. And unsalted butter. Again, unsalted because I want you to be able to control the salt. If you do use salted butter, then omit the additional salt. But good butter here too. No margarine, no yogurt butter, which if you don't know, yogurt butter is delicious. I love it, but it is made with vegetable oil, so it's basically like yogurt and margarine mixed together with a little bit of butter. But you want to use a good unsalted butter, so a European brand that's got the really bright yellow is going to be your best bet. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to heat the milk and the vanilla, hopefully paste, in a heavy bottom saucepan. Heavy bottom is good because it's going to distribute the heat more evenly and reduce the risk of scalding. Put this on a very low simmer. We're essentially infusing the milk with the vanilla flavor. Don't let it boil. It's actually scalding milk is what this is called. We're letting some of the water evaporate out to thicken the milk while infusing it with vanilla flavor. Don't let it boil. Heat it until little bubbles form around the edges. And that is when we know that we are going to start tempering. So while you're waiting for the milk to heat, place the sugar, the cornstarch, and the salt in the bowl of a stand mixer with a whisk attachment. Go ahead and blend those together so they're evenly distributed. Add the egg yolks to that mixture and continue to whisk them. Ideally, you want all of the grains of sugar to dissolve into the egg yolks, and the egg yolks, even if they're a bright orange or yellow, will become more of a pale yellow after they've been mixed with the dry ingredients and also with air. Okay, so we're gonna slowly, and when I say slowly, I mean slowly. Like I generally take it from the saucepan, the milk mixture, from the saucepan and put it into a measuring cup so that I have a pour spout. While the eggs are whisking, you're going to slowly pour that milk mixture in. Slow because A, you're tempering it. You don't want the hot milk to cook the eggs while they're in there, okay? But you also don't want to mix it too fast because then it will froth and foam, and you don't want that either. Both of those have solutions, but it's just easier and skips a step if you don't have to do that, right? So temper the milk mixture into the eggs at a low speed, and after it's fully blended, transfer it back to the saucepan. You can use the same one you did before. Heat it over a medium-low heat. Again, you don't want it to be boiling for about 3 to 4 minutes, and this is when it's going to thicken. Continue to whisk it the entire time, and when you start to feel like the whisk is giving you some resistance, that's when you know that it's almost time to come off of the stove. It'll be thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. It won't be fully thick yet. Remember, anything with cornstarch will thicken a little bit more after it is removed from the heat. So take it off the heat, and this is when you whisk in the butter. That last butter bit is going to give you that rich velvety texture and flavor. And if you're going to add bourbon into this, which I would highly suggest for the holidays, this is now when you do it to make it boozy custard. Now, the bourbon is not cooked, so this is boozy custard. Do not feed it to kids or pregnant women, 21 or over. Eat your custard responsibly, foodie friends. Okay, transfer this all over to a clean bowl and cover it with plastic wrap. This is a little trick. I want you to take the plastic wrap and press it down to the top of the custard. Make sure that they touch. They need to kiss, no air bubbles. This will prevent that filmy skin that develops on puddings and custards from developing, and just make it better in the long run so you don't have to re-stir it all. So to set it faster, or if you want to do it individually, put them into little ramekins, do the same thing with the plastic wrap, push it down there, make sure the custard kisses the plastic wrap. You'll want to refrigerate it until it's fully cooled. You can make these up to 2 days ahead of time. In ramekins, it takes about 3 hours to fully chill. So let's talk about our solutions if the tempering doesn't work as you wanted it to work. So the solution to both common problems is actually the same. Some people will temper the eggs, the milk will be too hot, and the eggs will cook, and you'll have these little tiny pieces of essentially scrambled egg in your custard. The solution to this is to pour the custard while it's still liquidy before you thicken it in the saucepan through a fine metal colander sieve, okay? And all the bits of egg, the cooked scrambled egg, will be in the colander, and just discard those and then pick it back up, put it back into that saucepan. The same solution comes if it's frothy and foamy. If you pour it through that colander and let it sit a little bit, throw away all the froth and the foam, it'll catch in the sieve, and then go back to that saucepan again. Basically, with the whisk, and if it's too high, you've just infused too much air into the mixture, so it's created bubbles. You're like trying to make whipped cream instead of custard. Anyway, either way, it will taste divine, and you are going to love it. As always, we hope to give you culinary inspiration and like to hear your thoughts, comments, experiences, tips, and tricks. Please leave them below. Let us know how you used your vanilla custard. I love hearing back from people and how it worked for them and some of the creative ways that they've used it and what recipes they've used it in. It gives me inspiration to keep making more recipes for you. And make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Sign up for our newsletter. You'll get our emails for YouTube videos, new recipes, all that good stuff. Love hearing from you. From my kitchen to yours, have a fabulous day.